Hello everybody! We have Sasha here. He's going to talk about Grind, the game, first-person shooter game for the Amiga. Go, Sasha!
So Grind's been in development for a couple of years. It is a 3D first-person shooter, something very reminiscent of like Wolfenstein 3D. I demoed it last year. I'll do it again briefly here on the single-player side of things. Several of you asked if there's a multiplayer element, and in the meantime, they did make it multiplayer as well. Of course, it involves two Amigas linked with a serial cable. I have two Amiga 500s linked with serial cable, and demoed it on YouTube. It works flawlessly. Here I brought an emulated version, so we'll run two instances in Win UAE with their serial cable configuration set up, so you'll get to see it. But first I'll show you the single player version. It was written in assembly with the game engine. There was a project before Grind that kind of was really a proof of concept that evolved into a full-blown game, and the original developer is working with the team. I'm just a big fan of the game, and I've gotten to know the developer, and he's been happy to kind of share the demo and to spread the word and kind of get some more support. There are very few first-person shooters for the Amiga. There are some like Gloom and Alien Breed and things like that evolved along Wolfenstein 3D, but due to the limitations of the platform, it took a while for all the tricks to be put together for a 3D engine to evolve at this level. So let's start with the single player, which I'll briefly show for those that haven't seen last year's demo, and then I'll show what's new, which is the multiplayer. So. Different weapons that you can collect. There are teleportation spots, so you can go.
So is this emulating the performance of an Amiga 500?
Yes. It's set up for the Amiga 500 with the half a meg expansion, but it runs pretty smooth. I mean. Yeah, we tried running of the Amiga 4000. It was smooth as silk, but there are other weapons in the game. I think that try another map maybe.
Can you turn up the graphics, like higher resolution with a faster computer?
Yeah. If you press F12, you can select like.
Right.
A 4000. But inside the game, I'm not sure.
So that'll make your emulated computer faster. Then the question is, okay, can you turn up the resolution or something to make it look better?
There's some levels, like for instance, the number of particles that you want to show. So we can look at that. It's work in progress. So there's just some limit as to what you can do. I'm not sure resolution-wise. We'll look at it. This is the last year's demo, but we can look at the more recent demo.
So is it open source or is it?
It's not. It's not open source.
So you're the only one who has the secret.
I'm a Patreon supporter, so if you want to support it at even at $10 level, they release binaries regularly, so you can but they're open to. So you have the screen mode, scan lines, default, explosion particles, things like that. Gore, yeah. So blood and guts and stuff. But Like I said, this is a 2024 demo, but let me see. These are different. Oh, there's just different modes. Yeah.
Difficulty.
I think on this other side is a different room where you'll see other weapons. Yeah, shell packs, grenades, that sort of thing. It's like there are different rooms. So I'm just trying to. Oh, there we go. Got a grenade launcher.
Nice.
And then they have like, if you right click, each weapon has 2 firing modes. So there's the chain gun, or you can right click. It's like I think a quadruple. Runs fairly smooth. I think if you go here, you'll see some enemies. Oops. I think I have to collect the keys, of course.
How often does an update come out?
I think every month or so. And keep in mind, this is about a year old. I'll show you the multiplayer demo, but like I demoed it last year, and there's a whole bunch of enemies here waiting to attack. So, of course, once I touch that fountain or whatever it is, they'll come out.
Whoa!
I better get out of here. That's pretty impressive. Considering how many, enemies and stuff you're dealing with. But
It's very humorous.
and I love the little depiction there. Help the lines, very reminiscent of Doom and Wolfenstein 3. I'm gonna get out of this because you have seen most of this last year, and I wanted to share with you what was asked. Let me see here. It's function F4. There you go. So I wanted to show you how they've added multiplayer, which is really neat. So what I'm going to do is launch 2 instances and configure it with a serial connection. So this is a more recent demo.
Artistic aesthetic really reminds me of this Bitmap Brothers game.
Huh.
What is it? The one where it's like a top-down and you're running and shooting.
Sounds
I'm
familiar.
not familiar with it, but let's see. So I'll just do F12. Yeah, so basically what we want to do is go to display. We're going to make this a windowed screen. And then on I/O ports, we're going to choose under serial. We're going to make this one a master. I believe these things as they are. So I want to close this. Just kind of move this one a little bit, up a little scale. Okay, that's perfect. I'll launch the other one now. Player 2, same thing.
For the player versus player,
Yes.
or multiplayer, do you think that's always going to be computers connected, or does he want to say, here, you in Germany and you in US?
Well, it's strictly like, you're sitting across the table from me. We got a serial cable linking our Amigas. That's it. I'm not sure if it's going to be, internet capable, but it would probably be very hard to do that.
Yeah, I would think
Maybe
so.
emulated only. Yeah. So, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Under the display area, I'm just going to make it windowed. And then on the I/O ports, it'll go slave on this one. And set it up. And close this. So, that's player 1, player 2. Let's start with player 1. It doesn't really matter, but when I start them, let's see. Should go. Looking for opponents, I gotta go over here. Do the same. There we go. Start match. All right, I'm connected. So of course I can only run one instance at any given time, but you'll see the movement, you know, from either perspective. So I'm gonna start here.
Facing each other there?
Yeah, we're facing. You can kind of see me coming at you. You see?
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna start firing here. Yeah.
You're not doing. The other guy's not doing anything.
Die.
Oh.
So what we can do. So that's okay. Let's switch now. I want to go over here to pick up some weapons. So yeah, I'll pick up some weapons. So it's payback time. You know, it's payback time. So there I am. You know. I think he's looking from the back. Let's see. Maybe I have the mouse working. Okay.
It must be a bug, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, here he is.
Oh,
Oh, you just unlined up, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
He looks the same no matter which direction you're coming.
Here we go. Yeah, it's because of the textured, plane,
They have different textures, different sides.
Oh, it took a grenade.
Is somebody blocking in the back?
So, yeah. I'm just swapping grenades now. So basically, if we had two machines here, two Amigas, we'd have a very smooth multiplayer session, but it's the best I can do on a laptop. Yeah, it's a small map.
Now, is the multiplayer basically just a deathmatch, or is it a
Question.
show up too?
I think, let's see, they have...
Can you do cooperative mode, I guess?
Yeah, let's see. Let's end it. Let's look at the options there. May have been more than one. I know in the more recent version they added quick messages, so you can kind of throw insults at each other. And I think they're also adding an option where you can type in something like, you know. But, I mean, again, you're sitting next to like, maybe they're working on something. I can't see how this would, allow us to use TCP/IP, you know.
I don't think you'd be able to do that.
That's science fiction, but, they're working on a number of little improvements. So the question was if there are any other modes, match type. So, yeah. So no limits. So there are win conditions. I guess you can set how many kills, you know, and I think it's 1 versus 1. Yeah, I think it's just two computers. So I can't see. I don't know. Has anyone been able to link more than two Amigas? I don't think there's a way to.
Well, I mean, like the big box Amigas, you can put Ethernet cards in.
Yeah.
Ethernet
So maybe it's a question for developers. They liked all of your feedback, and I think there was some development already on that multiplayer aspect, the serial cables, and so on. They got a very nice Patreon portal set up for the game, and they've done a lot of like under the hood kind of improvements with the game engine, especially with rendering and things like that. Like for instance, I think they're trying to get like 20 frames per second on the vanilla Amiga 500, you know, which is incredible, I think, considering.
And they're pushing this as Amiga only, right?
Amiga only. Well, actually, Atari ST. There's an Atari ST version.
Oh.
Yeah, Atari
Can you fight the Amiga versus the Atari?
yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, we know
well,
who's
the
gonna win
Amiga
that
looks
one.
better. Yeah, we can all agree that the Amiga version looks a lot better.
That's for sure.
And Mega Drive, so they have
Yeah.
Genesis version also.
Yeah. But I don't know when they plan on releasing it. Maybe in a year or so. The guy who developed the game engine, he joined back the team. He went on to work on some other stuff. So it's excellent.
John Sarkis or whatever?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
like, that's the guy behind the project, but the original developer, I forgot the name of Dread. Dread was the project name prior to Grind, so he's the guy that
There's been a
created the
couple
3
people's
engine.
hand in this, huh?
Yeah, John Sack, he picked up the project, kind of basically got a bunch of people to support the thing through Patreon, and they added a graphic artist and a sound guy, and
They also did Worthy, and Simone from our scan group
Yeah.
did the music for Worthy.
so that's where it's at. Like I said, this is actually like December, maybe November, December demo version. There's more stuff that they've added that you can look at, but this is the only multiplayer demo that I had. So
So is this a straight through serial cable you have to use?
I think it's null cable.
No, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, but
Dude, I totally weren't thinking.
yeah. Am I right on that? Null
Probably
cable.
a null.
serial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But-
the way you used to have to do it,
yeah.
like if you're doing like serial, like between two
Sure.
PCs. So
I mean, some of the Amiga 500 games that I remember from my childhood that supported multiplayer, like F-16 Combat Pilot, Stunt Driver game. I think that was
Yeah, Stunt
multiplayer as
Driver,
well. There may have been a few others. I've never had an opportunity to try the multiplayer thing because I didn't have anyone in my hometown with an Amiga 500 at the time. But I did get 2 Amiga 500s to try this out, and I mean,
Nice.
it instantly recognized like that. There were no issues. I mean, and it's super fast. If you were to do this on an Amiga 3000 or 4000, it's a much smoother experience. So. But it runs, I think, pretty good. It's totally playable on the vanilla 500. So.
They also made a game like Final Fight
Yeah.
yeah,
for the Amiga.
yeah, that's. I figured it was the same.
Metro Siege.
Patreon support on this project is I think $10 a month that gives you access to their binaries, so you can get the latest. They do a lot of updates. I think you can enter at 5, but you don't get access to any of the binaries. But at 10 and up, you can support the project. So I think it may just be one of those killer apps for the Amiga that came a bit too late. But,
Brian?
but you know, it goes to show us what can be done, and maybe
Yeah,
I kind of,
new tools.
yeah, I mean, I know John Carmack,
Right.
said it couldn't been done. Of course, this isn't Doom, we're talking about just one level. There are no steps, floors, and things like that, but
Right. You can't look
still,
up.
though, you
Yeah.
can't look up, but still, for the hardware, I think it's pretty revolutionary. So
Yeah,
if you
it's
enjoyed
nice.
it, glad it worked. I had a little bit of trouble setting it up with the multiplayer. I had a very outdated version of UAE that didn't have any configuration under serial. It just had TCP. So I downloaded the latest one. It has a bunch of options. Like, I don't know. It's interesting, but I mean, maybe you guys can help me a little bit. Like, just in terms of understanding, like when you go here under I/O ports and you go under serial, see there's TCP. I don't understand how. Does that mean it can be played on a network? You
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I mean,
it
on
is
an
playable.
emulator, right? You
Yeah.
could have 2 PCs running emulators
Sure.
on a LAN or maybe across the internet and
Okay.
be able to,
Okay.
like, it's the serial pipe goes over the network instead.
Right. But Amigas with their network cards, do you think it's possible? Like
No.
no.
Because that thing, the Amiga software is only talking to what it thinks is a serial port.
Oh, okay.
It would have to have configuration in Grind itself to say, okay, use your like XSurf 100 or whatever
Sure.
Ethernet card you might have.
Right. Because I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that would
like
be
in the early
2,000,
90s.
3,000, 4,000 for the network card. It could be done, but
Yeah, but it would have to have drivers
I think
support for those
Okay.
cards
Yeah.
in grind.
And that's a good question for
yeah,
developers
exactly.
to see
that
if.
one, like you said, the Xsurf is probably the most popular one, but I think they're just trying to do it to the mass. Most people
Right.
have a 500 or a
Yep.
1200.
Yeah.
And then a serial cable. But it's a
Yeah.
good question for them if in the code they would take into
Support it.
consideration the network protocols of the early 90s for the Amiga, because Amiga is at least 3,000, 4,000 had.
This,
Did they have TCP/IP? Like, I'm sure they did.
Yeah,
like,
you had to buy it, right?
Right,
Any
right,
TCP
right.
or what was the other one? Roadshow?
Yeah.
yeah,
Genesis.
wrote that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Genesis is open source now.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think, oh my god,
This-
I have to pay for TCP.
This would be a good candidate for the Mister.
Yeah.
Because you could feasibly, if you have a bunch of people that have misters, program it, I mean, you could
Right.
do it over TCP/IP.
What kind of baud rate are over the certification?
Yeah, I don't know in terms of like computer to computer connection. I really don't know.
It would be totally internal to grind, right? You'd have to look at the source code to grind and see
Right.
what it's setting,
I don't
because
think it's done.
probably the hardware supports up to 115K,
Yeah.
and so they probably just crank it up and say, we're going to run it
Yeah.
as fast as we can.
I know when I tested it, my daughter took over my second Amiga, and I mean, there was no lag. I mean, it was really smooth, and my two Amiga 500s have the half a megabyte expansion in each, but still, I was pretty impressed, like how fast it went. So, well, thank you guys. Hopefully, we'll see some.
Questions for Sasha? Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Sasha.
Thanks.